Huh? Where'd you guys go, Haley?
Tim, you're awake now?
Yeah, I just woke up.
I told you we'd be leaving you there while we left. Today's the day I'm taking Joshua to the gaming event downtown.
I'm sorry. If you'd woken me up sooner, I could have come too.
I sure did wake you up earlier, though. But when I did that, you told me to take him instead.
Seriously? I don't remember telling you to take him, though. Perhaps I drank a bit too much last night.
Even though you said multiple times before today that you be the one to take him, you ended up pushing your responsibilities back onto me.
Is Joshua upset with me?
He told me that you're a liar and all that. But now that we're here, he's too invested in the event to give a crap about what you did. Just a second ago, he was able to get an autograph from one of his favorite pro gamers.
Let's see, well that's alright then.
Nothing about this is alright though, Tim. You haven't done anything for your family. You haven't done anything for your family recently. And today, you were finally supposed to do something fun with your son after so long. You need to get a real hold of yourself there, Tim.
Well, yesterday night I had to go out for work.
Even though it seems like your coworker Mike goes out on his days off with his son.
Huh? Why'd you know about that?
Because I follow his wife's Instagram account.
Oh? Oh, it's because that guy really drinks as much alcohol as I do. And so a lot of my buds don't really ever invite him out to drink with us.
But in your case, it'd be better if you didn't drink as much like Mike. I'm happy that you put in a lot of effort at work for us, but I'd like it if you came home from work more often to spend time with us here. Joshua is still only in elementary school, and I'm working a job myself.
I'm really sorry about that. But my work has gotten a lot more busy recently.
And I understand that, but you and I are working full-time jobs. The both of us, so I don't think you have to push yourself that hard to make money. And in my case, I work from quite a lot in a year to make up for you taking it easy, and we only have one child to pay for. So working those long shifts like you do all the time isn't really necessary. Of course, the most important thing you should be thinking about is your family, Tim.
I guess I shouldn't be asking you to clean and take care of Joshua so much, huh?
So if you understand what I want from you, can you start making some more time to spend with Joshua when you get home and have days off? And even put an hour or so into cleaning.
Alright.
I'll be home later tonight with Joshua, so make us some garlic bread for dinner. You'll be home all day today, right?
I'm sorry, but tonight I won't need dinner.
What?
Actually, today I have a client from out of state coming here. And he's asking me to go out to dinner with him.
Is that so?
I'm sorry! I'll make sure starting next week that I make more time for you and Joshua. Today I already made plans for this, so let me go tonight, please.
I understand, Tim. But only today, okay? The next time you have a day off, don't you dare make any plans for work.
Alright, thank you.
And Tim, you really are focusing on work far too much. I'm starting to really get a bit worried about all the time you spend with work and your coworkers.
I'm doing just fine for myself, so I don't need to worry.
I get that right now you feel fine, but we're not as young as we used to be. I want to make sure that you are caring for your body and mind as much as you are your job.
You have a good point there. Let me get a few more weeks of good work in, and then I'll start to really calm myself down a bit.
Yes, please do that. Well, have a good night tonight with that client at dinner.
And have a fun and safe time at that gaming event. Make sure you both don't stay out too late. Haley, I'm sorry.
Wait, what? Are you apologizing because you once again will be getting home late?
No, that's also one thing, but not what I'm apologizing about now. I'm talking about this week's 3-day weekend.
During the time that we're supposed to go on a small vacation?
Yeah. I don't think it'll be possible now.
What? Why? Your son is really looking forward to this trip.
I understand that, but something serious has come up.
What do you mean something serious? Is it serious enough to where you have to cancel your time on our family trip?
That's not it. My parents are planning to get divorced here real soon.
What? Your mom and dad plan to? Even though they seem so close and happy together all this time.
Well, it started with something small a while back. What would you say? One of them happened to say that for the longest time they haven't really been happy married to the other. I think my mom said that, and then my dad followed up by agreeing with her. And so right now, things are really crazy there.
Really?
So that's why this weekend I'll be heading back to my parents' place. You could call it a family discussion on the divorce. I have to be there to facilitate all of it between those two.
I see. Well, if that's the case, then there's nothing you can do about it. But their divorce isn't 100% set in stone yet, right?
Yeah, but the two of them are thinking of being divorced. Of course, I don't want that for them, and I'd like to fix whatever's been making them both unhappy. This is the first time I've ever seen them so upset with one another, though. So I'm not sure what I'll be able to do. I guess I'll start by listening to both of their complaints, and then we can go from there.
Right. Do you think it'd be best for Joshua and I to come as well?
Nope. I don't want our son to listen to his grandparents fighting about divorce. And in the case of my mother, having you both there might only make things worse.
Well, that's another good point. Well, if there's anything I can do, please let me know. I'd like to be helpful in some way. And also, since it seems that things are really heated between them, maybe they should take some time away from one another to rest. If by any chance one of your parents want to come stay here for a little bit, I can clean up the guest bedroom for them.
Thank you. I was really looking forward to the vacation we had planned for this weekend, so I'm sorry. I just started to get back to thinking that we could all go out somewhere together as a family.
I had been thinking the same thing, but you should take care of your parents first. So don't worry about canceling this time. You haven't done anything wrong.
Thank you, Haley.
Are you going to be okay? Even though you're an adult now and moved out of their house, having them divorced has to be hard on you, right?
Well, yeah. They have been so close one another, so them wanting to split up all of a sudden is a shock to me. But now that I'm a parent, I can justify some of what they're saying. And if I was still a kid, I probably wouldn't be able to grasp anything they say. And when it comes to marriage, there can be any number of things that one doesn't like about the other. So I'll just have to wait and see what those two have to say.
Well, I guess this weekend I'll take Joshua to the park or something to play around. I had planned on taking your car for the vacation, but that'll be in use by you.
Yeah, sorry about that. I'll try my best this weekend to be back home as soon as I can.
Alright. Good luck trying to get your parents to stay together. It'd be nice if we could all stay together as one big happy family.
Right? When I get back, I'll make sure to apologize to Joshua.
Sounds good. I'll let him know that you have some work to attend to and that the trip this weekend will be canceled. Of course, I'm not sure how he'll react to that, though.
Again, thank you for doing that. Well, with that, I'll see you later.
Tim, how's it going over there? You went there yesterday, so I wanted to know if you found anything else out about the both of your parents.
Sorry, I forgot to message you about them sooner. Everything over here is going okay.
And what about you all talking about the divorce? How did that go?
Well, about that. Both my parents made up. I'm so sorry for getting the both of us all worried about them. They really had it out for one another at the time. But in the end, they both realized that they need each other. And right now, things are going just as normal. Those two really were meant for each other.
Right? They told me that the both of them are coming over right now to play with us.
What? They're going over there? My mum and dad?
Yep.
Oh, wait, you're lying about that, right?
No, I'm being very, very serious, Tim. What's wrong?
But my parents told me that this weekend they wouldn't be going out anywhere. Wait, what are you even talking about? I'm at their house right now. So why would they be going to you guys?
I want to know what the heck you've been talking about. You never went back to your parents' place, right? And your parents don't seem to be on edge with one another by any means. So they couldn't possibly have been talking about getting a divorce just a day ago, right?
Huh? What do you mean?
I'm saying that we know you've been lying to us.
Lying to you guys about what?
You said that the reason you canceled our family vacation this weekend was because your parents were planning on getting a divorce, right? Well, that just doesn't seem to have ever been the problem. You're on vacation with another woman that I don't know.
I have zero clue what you're trying to get at.
Listen, the moment that you texted me about having to cancel on our vacation plans, I got another message from your mom. She'd asked if it'd be okay to come over to our house to hang out and see Joshua.
What?
I then went ahead and asked her why'd she want to come over here when she was in the middle of dealing with wanting a divorce. But then she acted as though she had no idea what I was talking about. So when I asked her the simple question of it, she wanted to divorce your dad or not, she told me she's never thought about doing that to him. And so that's when I began to realize that you've been lying to me. That would make for quite an odd conundrum, right?
If they had planned to come to our house today, why didn't my mom freaking tell me? Does this mean that you're the one lying to me right now?
Well, you and your mom never talk to one another, right? She said that any time she tries to text you, you never read her text. So that's why it came down to me having to tell you.
But those two told me that they'll be staying at home this weekend.
That's because you were thinking of doing something unnecessary. Maybe had you actually told them you wanted to come see them at their house, they would have stayed there for you. Also, that car you're in right now has GPS in it. So don't think that you can keep acting as though you're at their house now.
A GPS? You're kidding, right?
Well, I had planned to use that car for a trip, and so I was working on using a GPS to installed in that car.
Oh, I'm so sorry, Haley. But I promise that right now I'm going on a solo vacation. There's not even a single woman around me right now. Not a single person, actually. I had just been waiting to go on a solo road trip for a little while now.
Oh, do you think that I'm only using that GPS as a way of knowing what's going on there?
You're nuts?
The GPS in the car ended up stopping at a resort out there, so I'm on my way now to see what's going on. I plan to come see the place you've taken your secret woman.
Huh?
My brother was kind enough to give me his car, so I'm on my way to stay there as well. You're there right now, correct? At the Sleepy Breeze Resort and Spa? Well, that's where I plan to stay tonight as well. I assume you guys got the suite. I'll make sure to pay you a visit on the way to my room. And don't worry about Joshua, because I left him with your parents to be watched back at our house. So this will give us a lot of time to just sit back and talk about all this without having to be too hurried. We'll be talking about our divorce. Tim, since then I've had a lot to think about, and I've chosen in the end to divorce you. And in the next coming days, I like to talk to one another about our financial business, so please let me know when you're available.
I don't want to. Please stop talking and thinking about divorce.
Well, you don't have the right to tell me you do or don't anymore.
I told you all about what happened, right? I showed you the messages between me and that woman I was with. So there's nothing else that I'm hiding from you now, Haley. And when it comes to that woman, I'll no longer be seeing her again.
And the thing is that I don't plan to forgive you for any of that, hence me wanting the divorce. We have Joshua though, so I couldn't just make a decision on the spot. But you never really cared about us as your family anyway, so the choice was made simple. I finally gotten to see the reason why that was. And now there can be an end to all this.
But I don't want to get a divorce, that's why I told you everything.
And so what, Tim?
I did all of this for you. So why can't you see past getting a divorce? I made sure to choose you and Joshua as the most important people to me.
And? No matter who you chose in the end has no relation to what you've done.
I get that you can see it that way, but I don't want this. I don't want to get a divorce.
And I didn't want to get a divorce either. But you ended up cheating on me with a younger woman, and that's why things have changed. This was all due to you being selfish, and now you think you can change the way you'll act?
When you bring up me cheating, just remember that I only saw it as having a little fun is all.
Yet when I spoke with your woman, she didn't seem to see it that way. She told me that she had been wanting for you to divorce me so the two of you could get married. She told me that while crying, right?
But to me, the most important are you and Joshua.
You're saying that we are both so important that you cheat on me and ruin plans with your son for her? I'm sure that if you had at least chosen to spend more time with us while you still had a few one-night stands with her, I wouldn't be choosing to divorce you right now. But that wasn't the case, was it? For the past 6 months, you chose to spend all your time with her, even canceling plans to be with your wife and son for her.
And I'm very sorry about all that.
And also, you tell her that you wanted to hurry up and be your husband all the time in your guys' texts. So for a while now, you've been wanting to get rid of Joshua and I.
I'm telling you, that's not the case. I just wrote all that to her so that things would be more hot between us.
So you had been lying to her about your true feelings as well.
Well, yeah, I was. I think that's what ended up happening in the end.
You're a terrible man. You had been faking wanting to marry her, right?
Huh?
You had no plans of wanting to marry her, yet you promised her you would. That's what you mean?
Haley, does any of that really have anything to do with what's happening between us here? You should know by now that I chose to be with you, right?
No, this is all very important to talk about. Because right now, it's not just me here texting you. Your little lovebird Hannah is sitting with me as well, watching my phone screen.
What?
You told me at the resort that you'd been breaking up with her on that day. Yet I know you never did end up saying goodbye to her, did you? You told me that you both broke up and everything, but when I talked with Hannah about you, she said you'd been working to get a divorce from me soon. Tim, how long are you going to keep fooling around with Hannah and I like this for?
What? Why are you and Hannah together?
Back when we were talking at the resort, you got on your hands and knees to apologize to me, right? You showed me all your guys' messages and told me she was just for fun. And at that moment, I was pretty much over you. And Hannah was in the same boat as me. Finish with your crap. But I can understand why she would be too, considering you had promised to marry her soon. Yet you were at my feet apologizing to me for everything.
She's gonna try and make you hate me! She's pissed now because I chose you guys over her! She's trying to break our family apart now!
The only one that broke our family was you, Tim. Also, Hannah was kind enough to record your guys' conversation these past few days.
What?
So no matter what you try and say, it's useless. I'm going to have you pay me a settlement for cheating on me, as well as pay for child support until Joshua turns 18. And I'd like you to pay Hannah for lying to her about getting married all this time.
Hold on a second. I really do want to go back to living with you and Joshua.
You're just trying to avoid your responsibility for cheating on me and having to pay the settlement by saying that, aren't you? Both Hannah and I were lied to by you on multiple occasions, and we're going to make sure you pay for that. So you stop all this bullcrap and take responsibility for the actions you made.
Haley, I'm so freaking sorry! I promise that I'll never even talk to Hannah again after this. And then there'll be no more of this cheating business. So please, in some way, try to believe me.
That's all right, Tim. Hannah doesn't want to see you anymore either, and neither do I. I can no longer trust the man that ruined all that family time he could have spent with his wife and son to sleep with another woman. The next time you and I see one another, you'll be signing the divorce papers whether you want to or not.
Wait! Shouldn't we talk more about all this? We have to also think about what Joshua wants. He can't just divorce me and take his only father figure away.
Please don't be worried about any of that. Everyone around me is saying that divorcing you is the right choice. And as far as I can tell, there's not one single person rooting for us to stay together. After that, my husband and I began to talk about the divorce in person, and his parents joined us as well to talk, but not a single person was his friend during all of that. Tim tried to continue using the fact that we had Joshua to care for as a reason to not divorce, but neither me nor either of our parents were happy to keep hearing that and soon voiced their opinions very angrily. Tim wasn't able to make any further arguments to them, and so he was forced into signing the documents. And because of my parents and his being there, I was able to get the settlement I had hoped for made up by the lawyer. Also, I was able to get the amount of money I wanted from his secret woman, Hannah, as well. Of course, cheating on me was never going to be forgiven, and so even though Hannah was hurt by Tim as well, I couldn't go easy on her. But of course, the main problem at the base of all this was Tim, and so I still trust her in some ways. After all, if it was Hannah that teamed up with me to show me the recordings she had of their conversations and ultimately helped me divorce Tim. And Tim and Hannah were co-workers within the same company, and so news of those two spread quickly, while Hannah leaving her position there soon after. In Tim's case, he still has to pay for child support as well as pay off the borrowed money he took for the settlement, so he can't leave his job there. Until all the news surrounding him begins to settle down, he'll just have to hang on tight. As for my son and I, we are now starting our new lives in a whole new world. When I explained to him that Tim would no longer be around, he came up to me and hugged me, saying that he'd stay with me to protect me. Those were the nicest words I had ever heard from anyone, and it warmed my heart so much. I suppose even though he's a 4th grader still, he understands a lot more about marriage than ever I thought. I'm so happy that I'll be able to love him even more now without the complications of Tim getting involved. But at the same time, I do worry that I might not be able to do all this on my own. I'm still a bit shocked by all that ended up happening, but as long as I take my time to rest and recover, things in my family will remain warm and cared for. And to make sure I have the time to myself to heal, my parents and even Tim's parents come every weekend to help care for Joshua and keep him entertained. I'll make sure that to never let my boy deal with anyone breaking his heart again like his father did, that someone is always here to love him and keep their promises. This is the life I want to keep for my son and I, and nothing is going to get in the way of that anymore. And to make sure that he grows up into the kind man I know he can be, I'll make sure to always treat him with respect and love he deserves.
Hey, Hannah, are you there? I was just wondering if you were still thinking of coming home at your usual time. I was only wondering because I really don't want you to come around here.
Hey, Tina. Sorry, what is this about? It's the 3rd anniversary of Dad's death, so... Yeah, I was going to come home to pay my respects with you and Mom.
Yes, I'm well aware of what the date is, thank you very much. And I'm telling you that I don't want you to come back at all.
Okay, can I ask why you don't want me to come back home? Were you going to help Mom in my place?
What do you mean, help Mom? What do you even do?
I mean how every year our aunts and uncles and cousins come over to help us remember Dad, and then we all go out for dinner. I always help Mom make the arrangements and reservations before we all meet up. So if I'm not going to be there, I'm asking if you're going to help Mom instead. Because I think Mom wanted to cook at home for this year. So she's going to need even more help than usual. Are you okay with that?
Hold on a second. That sounds like a big pain in the butt.
Right. Well, I'm already 30 minutes away from getting there, so just tell Mom that I've almost arrived, okay?
Seriously? Fine. Hey, Hannah, are you still here? Have you not gone back home yet?
What are you doing? We're in the same house. Why are you texting me? Just come and talk to me, Tina.
Just answer my question. Jeez. It's not that big of a deal.
Well, yeah. I was thinking of going home after I help Mom clean around the house since everyone's gone home now.
Okay. Then I guess in that case, I'll head out and have some fun.
You mean that you're really not going to help Mom and I out with any of this at all?
I'm already out. I'm not even home, so how could I?
You mean that you snuck out while we were all clearing the table? Why do you always do this? Why do you always have to be so selfish? I've had enough out of you. You need to learn how to grow up. Tina, are you there? You are in serious trouble. Did you take that $200 from Mom's private stash she keeps under Dad's urn? You need to give that back to her right now.
Literally, what are you even talking about?
I am talking about the money that Mom keeps under Dad's urn for emergencies. I was polishing off his urn one more time, and when I picked it up, I saw that the money wasn't there. I asked Mom about it, and she said she hadn't moved the urn or touched the money at all today, so it must have been someone else who took it.
Well, I guess there's no point in arguing if I have already been caught.
Well, you need to give that back to Mom right now!
What do you mean? Did you forget that I still live with Mom? What's hers is mine, and I would have ended up with it anyways.
But this is Mom's emergency money. She was going to use it to repay herself for hosting Dad's memorial service. That was never meant to be money for you to spend on yourself, Tina.
Well, it's a little bit late for that, because I've already used it all up.
Excuse me? You did what? Are you kidding me?
I'm serious, and I want you to stop coming around the house so often.
What are you talking about? Why don't you want me here that badly?
Because I know that money that you give Mom every month is money that you get from illegal dealings.
No, seriously. What are you even talking about? How did you even come up with that one?
Well, you work in a factory assembly line, so there's just no way you could afford to send Mom the $1,500 a month that you've been doing for so long now. I mean, you've been sending money to Mom for 10 years. but last year the amount jumped from $700 to $1,500. That means the amount more than doubled, which means you must be getting your money from somewhere illegal.
I have no idea how to even respond to something like that. And besides, I don't work at a factory, so I don't know where that came from either.
You mean you got fired and had to take an even lower paying job just to survive? Then you must be doing some seriously illegal stuff to afford the lifestyle that you have.
This is just getting ridiculous. Do you really think I'm only capable of getting low-paying jobs?
I mean, isn't that how it works for people who never graduated college and only graduated from high school?
You know that I was supposed to go to college. I was accepted and everything, but then Dad called the school and asked them to cancel my application with them.
Yeah. All I hear are excuses from a sore loser. You have got to be doing something illegal. I just know it. It's the only explanation.
You seriously just don't know when to stop, do you?
Well, we don't need your filthy money anymore.
You mean that you're really going to keep pushing me with this? Is this really a game that you want to play with me?
Ugh, there's no game. I'm just telling you the truth that I know about you. I mean, you moved out of the house 10 years ago. Just how often do you really need to visit us? Besides, it's just painful for someone with a college education like myself to have to deal with you for so often.
All right then. I guess I'll stop sending the money if you're so serious about this.
That will be fine by me. We still have plenty of money left over from when Dad died, so there.
So you're just planning on living off Dad's inheritance, huh? Well, we'll just see about that.
Hannah, are you there? You have to help me. I'm in serious trouble. I just went to check my balance in the bank and there's nothing there.
And just why are you coming to me about any of this?
Well, because I know that you used it all up for yourself.
I live more than an hour away from you and Mom. How could I have possibly broken into your bank account? I mean, how would I have even gotten a hold of your debit card in the first place? I think you just now realized for yourself that you don't actually have any money.
You must have hacked into the system and wired yourself all of my money or something like that. I know that I had money in there before, and now I don't, which means that someone had to have stolen it. There's no other explanation. So give me my money.
If anyone should be asking for their money back, it should be me, Tina.
What are you talking about? How are you the victim here?
I mean that you took the money that Dad left us, even the money he left for Mom, and spent it all on yourself. You used it all up within the first year after he died, didn't you?
What do you mean? Why are you saying this?
I'm saying it because you robbed Mom, even though she's a frail old lady who still does her best to keep her house running. And meanwhile, you do nothing to help her and leech off of her already rather small retirement money. That was the whole reason why I raised the amount of money I was sending Mom in the first place. She kept telling me how tight things were for her.
But I didn't know that that's why you did that.
But recently, I asked Mom for a breakdown of just how she was spending that money that I had been sending to her. She told me that every month when she gets the $1,500 from me, $1,200 of it goes to you, and she is only left with $300. So basically, you leave Mom with barely even enough money to take care of herself while you leech off of her.
No, that isn't true. That's not fair.
And after the memorial, Mom showed me some of the texts that you sent her where you demanded the money that I had just given her.
You're lying. I don't believe you. I'm going to go talk to Mom about this right now, and she'll say I'm right. Mom isn't at home right now. And I poked my head into her room, and all her stuff was gone too. What's going on here? Where did Mom go? Why is this happening?
It's okay. Mom is with me right now, actually.
She is? Really? But why?
Because she hates living with you, of course.
What are you talking about? Of course she doesn't.
She says that you make her do all the work around the house while you just hang out in your room or go out all day. Not only that, but you're always asking her for money that she doesn't have, and then you get mad at her when she doesn't have it. Mom has actually wanted to stop living with you for a while. She tried to be patient for your sake, but now she's had enough, and she finally came to me for help.
But I didn't even do anything bad. This isn't fair.
Of course you've done something bad here.
What do you mean? What did I even do?
You were always spoiled by Dad growing up, and you haven't changed since then. I mean, you've been out of school for years now, and you still don't even have a job. What is up with that? The least you could do is work part-time to help out with Mom.
But I hate work. It's so stupid.
Do you think people go to work because they like it?
You mean they don't?
Look, I had to step in, and I was the one that took Mom out of that house.
But how could you do something like that without even telling me about it?
Because we knew that you would throw a fit over it, like you're doing right now. And also, I'm selling the house.
Hold on. You're going to be doing what? But I live here! Where am I supposed to go? Do you even have the right to sell the house?
Well, you remember when we split up Dad's estate, right? In the will, he left you and Mom his savings, and he left me the house.
He left you the house? I thought he left it to Mom.
Apparently, it was easier to make the taxes work out if I got the house and not the money, so he left it to me.
You mean that this is all over something as stupid as taxes?
I suppose you wouldn't know much about that, considering that you don't do any work, huh?
Don't you talk to me like I'm some stupid kid.
Well, anyways, I'm more than happy to introduce you to a company that offers corporate dorms for its employees.
What do you mean? Why would I need something like that?
Well, soon you're not going to have money or a place to live. You're going to have to do something, right?
But you could help me, right? You could send me money every month and help me out, right?
You're joking, right?
Of course I'm not joking!
I am offering you a job in my company that will provide you with money and housing. This is the best deal that you are ever going to find.
But I don't want to work! This isn't fair!
The people from the company are going to be arriving at the house soon to pick you up and take you to your new home.
They're coming to pick me up right now? You already signed me up for this?
I would say that you probably have just enough time to pack your bags before they arrive, but I would start now.
You're kidding me. Don't tell me that these are goons from the illegal business that you make all your money from.
Are you really going on about all of that?
I just mean that there's no way you could afford to send someone money like that.
Of course I can. Why don't you think I make any money?
Well, then what's your job, huh?
I'm a general manager for my company.
You mean you don't work for an assembly line?
I worked a job like that once in high school. Did you really think that I never moved on to anything else? My current job I got because an old colleague started his own company and asked if I would like a new and higher paying job.
But you don't even have a college degree! Why would anyone want to hire you?
Because I studied hard after I graduated and developed my skills without having to go to school. And now I'm here.
But that isn't fair! Why don't I have things like that happen to me?
I don't know. Have you ever applied for a job?
I'm still working on my resume.
Really? Because there is no way that it could be that long. Anyways, I hope you've been packing this whole time. I just got a text from the pickup crew that they arrived at the house.
You're kidding me. You mean they're here already?
That's right, and your first shift is going to be bright and early tomorrow.
I'm going to have to start work tomorrow?
Yep, good luck with the new job. Tina was always our dad's favorite child while we were growing up together. He would let her get away with everything and never asked her to do any kind of work. I was thinking of asking Mom to move in with me after he died, actually. But I had so much going on with my new job that I knew I needed more time. Now that I've really grown in my career, however, I'm sure of this. It's time that I give my mom a break after all the hard years of work that she's put in throughout her life. I heard from some coworkers about how Tina was getting along in her new job. At first, she tried to threaten everyone around her that her older sister was someone very important in the company. But when she realized that wasn't working, it was like something broke. And she finally just started following instructions and working.